welcome to Make TV Today. Marriage is a beautiful thing that everyone looks forward to, but it doesn't just come easy for both male and female. Although we have more females on the waiting list, there are men also on the waiting list of marriage. We want to talk about a 74-year-old who got married just recently. More when I come back. I'll tell you more about a 75-year-old man. Has he been married before? Or is he a divorcee? I don't know. I'll tell you when we come back. Thank you once more for tuning in to Make TV. My name is Lovely Kerry. Today I want to be talking about a 74-year-old man who got married for the first time. Mr. Mohammed Awal tied the knot with his missing rib. The question is, what happened to Mr. Awal all this while? Fate has it that he had to wait till 74th year to find his misery. What happened to him? Is it that he's been married before? No, he's not been married before. According to him, he couldn't just talk to any woman. He couldn't gather that boldness to talk a woman of his dreams. And that continued. Most likely he had continued to pray every day of his life until he met Ramat. Ramat, a 45-year-old divorcee. She is also a divorcee. They met and the marriage was colorful at Lokoja over the weekend. But crowds that were gathered there were not hindered by the rain. They all gathered to the end of the wedding in a car to see everything going on. Isn't that amazing? Many people would have thought that Malam Awal had a spiritual problem. Most problem of delay is not always spiritual. They're not limited to spiritual. Of course, we don't deny that there are spiritual problems in the world. And that can also affect marriage. Aside the erroneous beliefs that any single that's in Africa anyway, that any single beyond certain age of 30 going to 40, 50 and all that has a spiritual problem is not always true. There are other causes of delay in marriage. And looking at the issue of Mohammed Awal, when he was interviewed, he said he did not have that courage to talk to any woman. That means is this kind of man who has phobia to talk to a woman. Well, I don't know how he met Awa, and most likely for this kind of man, Awa would have made a move that made it easy for him. He said that family and friends have always encouraged him, and at a point he gave up. He gave up somehow. The story turned out to be a sweet one. So, what are the causes of delay in marriage? Why will an eligible bachelor who is ready for marriage and desires marriage will not get married at the right age? At least from the age of 25, if a man has a job or means of livelihood and could take care of a woman, the man is supposed to get married. But in many cases, you have men around 40s, 50s, 60s, and even 70s who have not found their soulmate. Recall that episode in Your Opinion, we presented to you a 90-year-old man who has never been married. And we also looked at reason why a man may not be married. So let's talk about the list of reasons why people may be delayed in getting married or they may not marry at all. I will just have a brief touch on these causes of delay in marriage. The first is poverty. In Africa, to get married, there are some things the family will request from you. Africa, in Africa, mind you, we do, especially in Nigeria, we do three weddings. You do your traditional marriage, your church wedding if you're a Christian, and for a Muslim, you do your mosque wedding a car, then you head to the court. All this require money. Going to the court, going to entertaining the guests, entertaining all the family members and friends far and near. You have to kill the cow. At least you have to feed. You don't even know the population of people that are going to attend your marriage. So you have to make provision for their meals. So if your man is poor, doesn't have a means of livelihood or a lucrative job, he may not be able to go ahead to marry, and it continues like that and keeps hoping that one day things will get better. And if he doesn't find a way to get another job or improve his earnings, it will just continue like that and years begin to run out. And another cause of delay is illness. Illness can be another source of delay. If one has a particular hereditary disease, whether terminal sickness, it can hinder a person from getting married at the right time. That takes us swiftly to the next reason for delay in marriage: disability. When a person is impaired both in their movement, in their sight, in their hearing, it can delay them. Most times they don't find a partner who is ready to marry them with their disability. Most people in Africa may tend to even they tend to they don't want, they reject them, they ignore them, they don't want to associate with them because of their disability. Then abuse also is another cause of delay. Why did I say abuse? A person who has suffered abuse from their childhood may just feel may just have negative notions about marriage and may decide not to get married. They may even have hatred for the opposite sex. So that's another cause for someone being delayed in marriage. And the next one is also age. People feel that at a particular age, one may not be able to get married, most likely because from 40, 45, 50, a woman may have reached menopause and may not be able to give birth again. So people will regard such as no longer eligible for marriage. Then the next here is inability to approach a woman. The inability to approach a woman of choice can debar a man, can hinder a man from getting married. If there are people who really have that phobia, well, I do hear of it. I've not seen any man like that, but I've seen people coming out to testify that they don't know how to approach a woman. Is it that difficult to just see a woman you love, make friends with her, learn what she likes, and before you know it, she opens up to you and you see if it's somebody you can talk to? Is that difficult? Well, I don't know. I'm not a man. Right. Another reason why someone, whether male or female, can face delay in getting married is unrealistic expectations. Unrealistic expectation, someone is looking for a perfect person, You're looking for a woman who earns a huge salary, or a man who earns a huge salary, at the same time is tall, at the same time who can be a good cook, who takes care of children, who is homely, who at the same time has a nice shape, nice figure. You want this kind of thing, somebody who is loving everything at once in one person. That is unrealistic. That is not possible. You have to look at some qualities you feel are okay by you, then the other parts that are not available, you make do with that one and move ahead. Then bad manners. Bad manners, someone who has a bad manner may find it difficult to hook up. Maybe lousy, maybe easily uncontrolled temper, maybe a gossip, or just a lazy person. Someone who can't cook, who can do basic things for the family. This can be a reason for delay in getting married. One of the list above is just peripheral. There are others who have found their mates despite all odds, despite their poverty, despite their illness, despite disability, their age, whatever they have gone through, they were able to find a suitable partner for themselves. When we come back, I'll tell you those who have beat the courses we just talked about to find a suitable lover for themselves, despite their disability, illness, and age. Welcome back. We've been talking about a 45-year-old man who got married for the first time in Lokoja. It was a miracle, like many will say, because someone like that might, 74-year-old, someone like that might have given up given up. So he was able to marry a 45-year-old woman. Look at the age difference. The man is 74 and married as someone about 30 years or so. Someone about 30 years younger than himself. That's a testimony. I don't even know why I am talking more about relationship this time around. I'm not a marriage counselor, but this is just what is happening around, and I feel I should let you know in the event that you're giving up on yourself. The stories or case studies I'll be giving you now, we awaken your hope. We motivate your hope if you've given up on love. Let me say this, that age is just in numbers. Age is just in numbers. And when somebody is being delayed, let's say getting to the age of 40, 45, it's not always a spiritual problem. I feel that the issue of marriage and love is what comes naturally. You have to wait for that person your heart really loves, not to go and just get anyone just because you are under pressure. You can wait and enjoy your waiting time, no matter your age and no matter your condition. Let's look at the case studies of people who married against all odds. They beat all these causes of delays we talked about. Some of them, despite their illnesses, they got married. The first person I've been talking about today who had a certain illness, or let's say both couples, Nicole Brobeck and Curtis Braxton, both are have a kind of disease. The former, Nicole Brobeck, has cerebral palsy, while the spouse has hydrocephalus and a seizure disorder. Yet, both are able to marry. Both of them married on their crutches, on their walking aids. The family did not even have much, but they did at least. Uh, they did at least a small wedding, so to say. They did not do an elaborate wedding, but they got married anyway. Then, moving from those who married against all odds, despite the illness in their life, we have people who are up to 100 years, 60, 17 years, 25 years apart, and also got married. Kyle Jones and Marjorie McCool. Marjorie McCool is 60 years older than Kyle Jones. Of course, it's alleged that Kyle Jones is a grandson, but they find love despite their age difference. Another one is Ahmed Mohammed and Sophia Abdullah. These are Sudanese. Ahmed is 112 years, of course, one of the most elderly men in the world today. 112. He has five wives and added Sophia to his list of wives, making the sixth wife. Look at the gap between them. The gap between them is about 98 or 97 years gap. That's Sophia is about, that should be a great granddaughter to Mohammed. But that is it. Marriage is not just about age, it's about the action, the attraction and the fulfillment you have in it. Look at this white man also. This white man should be in his, looking at him, he should be in his 70s. And this lady beside him, also a young black woman, and this old white man. This young woman is not up to 20 years, looking at her now. And they are happily married. You can see it in the vest they are putting on. Their pre-wedding pictures is on the vest there. The fact remains that they are enjoying their lives, and that's the most important thing about marriage. That you marry your soulmate, you marry somebody that you enjoy being with, somebody that makes you happy despite all, or somebody that can stand with you even when the situation is tough, when things, the tide turns around, someone who can encourage you. That's what marriage is all about. Not marrying against pressure or what the society feel we should do. There are others too who have married even with their disabilities. The list is ended. Oh, before I go talk about disability, we also have a Nigerian, Mrs. Erumena, who got married at the age of 64 last year. The marriage was colorful. Mrs. Erumena is 64 years old and married Pastor Benjamin Apogene Adaya last year. The woman has never been married before, and I'm sure she will have gone through a lot of pressure from family and all that. But eventually, she found her soulmate. She found her soulmate, and she is happy. Most likely, if she had married earlier, the marriage would have hit the rock. But here is she today, grateful that she is married, and it's a big testimony that at last she found her soulmate. There are others too who have married disabled partners and are happy with them. First on the list is Pastor Nick, an American motivational speaker, married to a beautiful woman, and they even have twins. None of the twins have the disability of their father. They are just normal kids. I'll be right back. Welcome back. We've been discussing those who got married despite all odds, despite their age gaps, despite the illness, despite poverty and every other thing. And right now, I want to be talking about people who also got married despite their disability. Those who are on their wheelchair and still got married. Some who are even bedridden and still got the love of their life. We have Sheen Stevenson, got married to Mindy Nis. Since Stevenson has this medical condition called osteogenesis imperfecta, and that made him to be restricted to wheelchair. It's just 3 inches tall, yet he found a very beautiful woman. Steve Sin is a motivational speaker, despite his and also an author, despite his disability. And the wife testified that apart from his disability, is the most sexual active man he has met in his life. And right now, at least they have a kid to themselves, and this couple are happy. Then we have Lizzie. Lizzie and Ame got married colorfully. The emotional video of the wedding will make you cry. The emotional video of this wedding of Lizzie and Ame will make you cry. The man shows a deep expression of love, and watching it, you will want to cry. Then we have also the South African woman, Sinikiwe, who does not have both hands due to birth defect. She also got married colorfully to Actrop. What are we saying? Why are we always victimizing people because they didn't get married at a certain stage? Individual has what they look forward to before getting married. Some really want to have a particular amount in their account before they can get married. That's what will make them happy. Some don't feel that they should marry someone older or younger. Some people just feel they should just marry somebody within their age grade, but it doesn't just work like that. Age is just in numbers. If your love is 20-year-old, tell me, 20-year older, would you? I know as Nigerian we have a lot of barriers we place on these things, but I think the whites don't have so much problem with all these barriers we put on ourselves. People with disabilities, they get married. People, even when you don't have money, you get married over there because you don't have to waste money like we do waste money on weddings. You do pre-wedding photos and all that. We spend so much money on weddings here. So you don't have to work according to what friends, what society, the barriers they place on marriage or how they feel they should be. Marriage is it's you. It's you. It's you. It's just you, the way it works for you, not the way it works for another person. You don't have to use another person as a yardstick for the way you want to live your life. Most individuals are not the same. The way we respond to love and marriage depends largely on our upbringing, on our exposure, our education and experience in life. So no two individuals are the same. For instance, a man is trained not to go into the kitchen. Is trained not to go into the kitchen in their family. They don't do that. Then we have the other person who just finds it easy going into the kitchen to help his wife. That doesn't mean that one who cannot go into the kitchen is doesn't love his wife. No, it's just about mentality. There are men who will open the door for their wives. Some don't do. So it doesn't mean that they don't love their wives. So if you say that the other spouse is doing this for their friend and yours is not doing for you, then you quit. It doesn't work that way. You have to study individual in their own love language and know how to work with them. Now, what is it about a man, a man getting married to somebody that is 100 years older than, or a woman getting married to somebody is 60 years older than? What is this thing about marriage? Is it about seduction? Is it about attraction? Or let me ask, what will attract a man who is handsome, full figured, has no defects, to be attracted to somebody who is just on a wheelchair? and vice versa. For a woman, a beautiful woman who will want to marry to a dwarf who is only restricted to a wheelchair. That means when we talk about marriage, it's more than the physical attraction. It's something that is from the inner parts. It's something that is deep within the soul. When we talk about marriage, it's an attraction that is more than the superficial. And then from all the stories we heard about people getting married to heal to people getting married despite their age gap or with disability, we saw that most of those people with disability uh, have a testimony of happiness. They are always happy, and happiness itself is an attraction because every man, every woman wants a woman that can sparkle their lives. They want somebody who can always encourage them, who can always make them feel happy. So I think most of these people confined to wheelchair, this is a virtue they have, that despite their illness, they have this joy, they have this happiness within them that is also able to that happiness they have that is able to affect their spouse. They have they beam that light of happiness and encouragement, because everyone wants where there is light. Everyone wants a woman that will not give them problem. I don't know, most likely some may get married to such people because they feel that they cannot move around. But we have people who truly love their wives. We've seen them around, people to really love their wives. So you are disabled doesn't mean you cannot get married, and that you are over 40 and 50 doesn't mean you cannot get married. It doesn't mean you have a spiritual problem. It's what you need is to get knowledge. What do you want in marriage? What kind of person do you want? Of course, there is somebody out there for you. You don't have to give up. If the 74-year-old man, our could find love at the age of 74, you also can find love. Don't allow the society to intimidate you. Remember, if you rush in, you rush out. It's because of all this unrealistic expectation that people rush into marriage and rush out. You have to get to a point where you don't do things because this is what is expected of you, but this is what makes you fulfilled in life. When thinking about marriage, this is what you should look at. So if you feel that age is not on your side and you're giving up, no, don't give up. There is somebody out there for you. And your happiness and your glow, the happiness and your glow is able to attract you to your future spouse. Nobody is attracted to a depressed person. If you start getting depressed just because you've not seen anybody coming close to you, you've not seen everybody in your life, you start getting depressed. The more you get depressed, the more you chase away suitors. But if you are always happy and always trying to look for something to improve on yourself, because people will come near. As somebody who is around your 40, over 40, what you should be thinking about is how to improve your life. By the time you get married, are you still going to get married like when you were just in your 20s, when you have not achieved anything? Look for a goal. You look for something you can work for and that can make you successful. Success also attracts. Success attracts people into your life. So look for something you can do. Is your expectation of a spouse unrealistic? Check your expectation. You have to realign it. Get knowledge. Then, lastly, you have to move around the kind of people you want. You know, the kind of people you want in your life. Move around them. Research. Know where they are. People you have the same thoughts, the same line of religion. You know that you have about 80% similarities in what you want. Most couples that got married found out that they have at least about 80% similarities in their life, and that's what drew them close. Let's consider love and romance. Let's look at this. How do you express romance? There are some men, some women, maybe because of their upbringing, they're not really romantic. When we talk about romance, you're able to do something that makes the other person feel wow. For example, um, you've not been opening the door for her. You just decided to. She comes out of the car one day and you open the door for her. You're coming from work and you just decide to buy ice cream. That ice cream may be nothing. That's being romantic. It's not just about holding somebody by the waist that is being romantic. There's so many things you can do. You can be at work and send them a mail. That's about being romantic, not just when you have sexual intercourse. Now, what we call love is something that is more than the physical. It's about commitment. Love in marriage is about commitment. You've seen someone, you have like 80 or more percent similarities in what you like, then you decide to give commitment. You decide to be committed to this person against all odds. That's love. Then the romance aspect is what keeps this marriage going on. You are able to do certain acts of service for them, bake for the baby. Of course, that's woman. That's basically how to get a woman. You are able to do certain things for them. You are able to buy airtime even when they don't ask for it. So if there is someone around you you're looking at and you don't just really know how to approach them, all you need to do is just study them. Like Malam Awal said, he couldn't approach a woman. Study someone around, look at what you feel they like, try to figure out what they may like, look for try to read about love languages, then study these people, try to find yourself around them, study that person, see what they like. Nobody reject gifts, send them gifts, then look for a way, look for what they like, what's their area of interest. Also, you also get interested in that and move closer to them. Before you know it, you just discover that your friendship is growing and growing, and that may lead to marriage. If it doesn't lead to marriage, you've gained an experience and it will help you in the next one, which may eventually lead to marriage. I've come to the end of my talk today. I've been talking about a 74-year-old man who got married last weekend for the first time. And we have been considering the reason for delay in marriage. And we also look at case studies of people who were able to get married despite the odds. And I am just using this opportunity to encourage you not to give up on love, because there is somebody there for you. Alright, viewers, what is your thought on our topic today? What do you think about delay in marriage? I want to have your opinion. Just slide down and please drop your comments on the comment section there. Please like and share. Please subscribe to our channel. Thank you for staying tuned to Made TV today. Once again, my name is Lovely Carey. See you again next time. Bye.